Reflecting on the lighting of the Advent candles, when have you felt hope and peace? Many of us likely have Christmas traditions, which we take joy and pride in. These traditions have likely gone on for many years and involved many different loved ones. However, before we get to Christmas, we take the journey of Advent. And here too, we can find many beloved traditions. I remember making Advent wreaths growing up with my church community. We would make our own with pine leaves and really anything we could find outside, as well as the 5 candles. It was a wonderful time of arts and crafts in the church. I also remember lighting the Advent wreath in church each Sunday. A different child or family was asked to light the candles, and I longed for the day when I was tall enough to do this. The Reverend Dr. Corey Field's article, Why We Light These Candles, is a helpful reflection in this time about the familiar tradition of lighting the Advent candles. He notes that in most settings, the candles represent hope, peace, joy, and love. I see smiles on many faces when we light the Advent candles, even on Zoom. There are likely fond memories tied to lighting these candles, and it can help us feel like it's Advent. Reverend Dr. Fields writes, we light these Advent candles not as an escape from the pain, but as the light of welcome for all who still suffer. When we light the Advent candle of hope, do we light it because we all live with a sense of hope and are simply celebrating that? Or do we light it especially for those who feel hopeless? When we light the candle of peace, do we light it because we celebrate our peaceful world? Or do we light it precisely because we are still desperate for peace? For this midweek musing, I invite you to reflect on a time when you did have experiences of hope and peace, and perhaps let those memories bring you and others comfort and strength in this time. This season of Advent is very new for me, not just because it isn't a time of pandemic, but because I'm experiencing it with the parish of Trinity-St. Paul for the first time. There are new prayers, songs, traditions that are making it truly a wonderful journey this year. I felt hope this past Sunday during our celebration of new ministry. Many people said this celebration of new ministry was for me, and I was thankful to have had so many people from different parts of my life come together for worship. However, it was not a service simply about me. It was a service about the coming together of my ministry with the ministry that has long existed in the people and place of Trinity-St. Paul. It was a moment that marked our coming together and a time when we made promises to continue forward on the journey. During this service, I saw hope in the faces that gathered, and I felt hope for the journey ahead. I will remember this feeling of hope every day of my life. Every Sunday, I feel peace when we are in worship, particularly when we are singing together the Lord's Prayer. Many people are often involved in liturgy. It's a lot of wonderful, moving parts that require attention to detail and organization. If you add in the new medium of technology, it is easy for me to get caught up in thinking about what's coming next, remembering everything I want to say, and looking around to try to gauge if people are enjoying their experience. Even though I work hard to be present in the moment, many thoughts run through my mind constantly in worship. However, every Sunday during the Lord's Prayer, I intentionally push all thoughts out of my mind and find a moment of peace, singing in prayer with all of you. This is my moment of peace that I treasure each week. This Advent season, you may be one who is feeling hopeless. You may be one who is feeling desperate for peace. I keep you in my prayers. I invite you to reflect on memories of hope and peace. And as we continue to light the Advent candles this year, I trust that you know and believe that we light these candles for you, as we all journey together to the Christ child. This Advent season, we reflect on the lighting of the candles. When is a time you have felt hope and peace? What do you feel this Advent season? It is an honor to grow in faith together, even while apart.